5 straight wins, battling for first overall yet again. So what's going on with the Jets? Let's head to Winnipeg to bring in our newest member of our team, Danielle Bain. Danielle, how nice is it to start a new job where you can report so much good news on a daily basis about a team?
Gino, it feels a little too good to be true coming into a new place. The team's rolling, everyone's so nice. I mean, it says friendly Manitoba on the license plates, and I came here and that was true. It seems a little too good to be true, but you know what? Can't complain. Things are rolling. The vibes around the team are amazing. And I was just in the locker room, everyone's smiling, everyone's having a good time. The Jays are going to the World Series. So far, so good in Winnipeg, Gino.
Life is good, especially for Mark Scheifele right now. Tied for the league leading goals, top 6 in scoring overall. He's been awesome. Who else deserves credit for such a great start for the Jets this year?
Well, Gino, I'm glad you mentioned Mark Scheifele because, of course, he's been on a heater, 7 goals, like you said, and he's just been off to an amazing start. But if I do have to give some credit to some other guys on the team or around the organization, I just got to say it's the stars being stars, and they've really stepped up in the absence of a couple key members of this team who are out due to injury, which we will get into a little bit later. But, you know, it's the stars doing star things and using their star power, like Kyle Connor and Gabe Vilardi on that top line with Mark Scheifele. I think they've combined now for 23 points, so they're really bringing this team over the edge when they need those wins. And then, of course, Connor Hellebuck, you know, just doing what he does best. He did have that shaky start against Dallas in Game 1, but you know what? Ever since then, he's been rock solid. I think in almost every start that he's had except one, he's faced more than 30 shots. So he's had more than 30 saves. He's looking like his old self again. You know, the guys around the room are always giving him props for what he's doing. So I definitely have to give credit to the stars.
Speaking of hitting stride, how about Jonathan Toews? 4 points in his last 4 games, including his first goal as a Jet on Monday night. You talked to him a lot. How's he feeling about the way his game is now rounding back into form after so much time away from the game, Danielle?
Well, you said it right there, Gino. So much time away from the game. There were so many question marks ahead of this season on how Jonathan Toews would do, and no one is a harder critic on Jonathan Toews than himself, and he has such high expectations for himself. So to see where his game's at right now, I think he has really exceeded expectations, especially by being away from the game for so many years. And, you know, he got that first goal. He got the monkey off his back, so to say, in that game against Calgary, a really key goal, that tip in front of the net, you know, that tied things up. And you could see that wasn't just a celebration of, you know what, this is my first goal of the season. That was a celebration of, you know what, that's my first goal since being away from the game for over 2 years.
Yeah.
And it means so much to him. You can see, like, he, after games and after practices, when he's speaking to us, he mentions how much it means to him. You saw his parents come for the home opener. They were at the morning skate saying how nervous they were and how much this all means to them and their family. And, you know, I'm curious to know from your end, Gino, how do you think he's looked so far?
I think he's looked great. I thought it would take some time. Honestly, I thought it would take more time than this. I think he's actually ahead of the curve. You mentioned something, Danielle, that I want to follow up on, and that's injuries. The Jets are doing all this right now without some key bodies. Cole Perfetti has been out with an ankle injury that he suffered in the preseason. Dylan Sandberg broke his wrist in the preseason. Madam Lowry recovering from the offseason hip surgery. What's the latest on those fronts? Is anybody getting close there?
Okay, so glad you asked this because some key signs for the Jets is that their captain, Adam Lowry, is skating with the team again. He is in the non-contact yellow jersey, but he's been taking part in those full practices with his teammates. So he is really trending towards a return. He had that off-season hip surgery and was scheduled to come back beginning of November. Once we talked to coaches, they said, you know, end of October, early November is what they're targeting for Lowry. So that's going to be pretty key. And then you have those other two, Dylan Sandberg and Cole Perfetti. They're more of a mid-November to late November return with those injuries, but things are trending in the right direction. And hearing from all the different guys, you know, they're actually really impressed with how the team has stepped up in the absence of those guys. One of those major areas, the penalty kill. You know, 2 of their best penalty killers are out of the lineup right now, and the PK has still gone 26 for 27. It's at the top of the league. So guys are really stepping up, and head coach Scott Arniel has said that it's about 2 key things: everyone being on the same page and really keying into that anticipation and knowing where guys are going to be out there. So he's really liked the way that things are looking, and the team can only get better when those 3 guys get back on the ice.
And you know what else helps the penalty kill? The goaltending. And after giving up 5 in his first start of the season, Hellebuyck's only given up 6 total goals over his last 4-game winning streak. What are you hearing from the reigning Vezina and MVP winner so far?
Well, he's just looked rock solid ever since that first game. We talked a little bit about him off the top here, but he has been incredible, and all of his teammates say constantly after every single win, couldn't have done this one without Bucky, couldn't have done this one without Helly, and he's just been incredible. And Josh Morrissey did say today, one of the reasons the PK's been so good, yes, everyone's being on the same page, sticks are good, this and that, but he said that classic answer, the best PKer has to be your goaltender, and it's happening. So he's that type of guy that has been relied upon, his entire time in Winnipeg, and that's going to continue to happen here for Connor Hellebuyck for sure.
Danielle, great job. This has been a lot of fun. Look forward to a lot more of these chats throughout the rest of the season.
Thanks a lot, Gino. Can't wait.